Alrighty, I wanted to go over this disappearance. And also this disappearance is almost similar to the one I just did the other day with James. The hell's his name? Marcel James. The World War I Air Force jet flight pilot. Excuse me, Ted. Goddamn dog, man. But this goes back to 1953, and the only reason why I brought this one up was it's almost the same as that other one. And it does have to do with UFOs, mind you. And this guy literally over the Superior Lake, mind you, is where he ended up missing. And of course, I think this is the flight pattern that he had. And as you can see, the Superior Lake, and if anybody don't know, the Superior Lake is famous for a lot of missing cargo ships or ships in general. And the most famous, the Edmund Fitzgerald, or the Fitzgerald ship, cargo ship that crashed in a nasty storm. Now, the only reason why I also bring this up is because of also the this being a huge waterway, and obviously, like everything else, a gateway to underground caves that I believe hold terrestrial, god damn it, ships that wander beneath us. And he was going close to the Canadian border to do an investigation on two unidentified aircrafts. Now, someone said that there might have been Canadian planes flying, but it wasn't, because I think his radar, or a radar that they were using for the aircraft in the back, couldn't see too well, so they had to go to the land air radars, and they caught two, what is it they call blips, two blips on the radar screen. The two blips on the radar screen grew closer and closer until they seemed to merge, assuming that Moncla had flown either under or over the target. But when they both connected, he never reappeared, but the two blips appeared dead. And get over there. And what I think happened is just like what happened to the other flight in 1919 with the James flight, that he ran into these and either they sucked them up. Get back there, goddamn dog. Hold on a second. Pretty bad, I gotta yell at this dog like a goddamn kid. Get! And but anyways, I think that these ships might have, maybe either crashed it or maybe even sucked them into their ship. And whatever they did, they did. They did say that they found pieces of aircraft along the ridge of the Lake Superior and everything, and all this stuff, but they never confirmed that it was his plane, but it was a military plane, just like the other story. They didn't confirm it or whatnot. But whatever the case may be, Yeah, they never found him, nor the full plane. I mean, you would think the radar back then maybe would if anybody's in the military and maybe watch on them radars back then, if anything was caught exploding, like fragments would come out of the blips, you would call them. Like it would maybe do an abnormal, you know, instead of being like a circle or whatnot, but blow out of proportion. The F-89, which was what he was driving right here, flying, flying, I think that's the F-89 right there. As it says here, merged with the other aircraft as expected in interception. Also disappeared after the two returns merged onto the radar scope. Now they said that something came up 45 minutes later from him, from damn phone. Oh my God. I was gonna say, tell me that was just paused. But I'm gonna have to pause and come back on this, but bear with me, I'll be right back. So as I was saying, if my phone don't mess up now I'm in the house. See if it messes up. Because I was just outside and there was no shutting off. But although the phone did freeze once. So, as I was saying, heard a brief radio transmission from the pilot about 45 minutes after the plane disappeared. Air Force investigators reported that Moncla, I think it's Moncla, may have experienced vertigo. Yep, here we go, I'm in the house and my phone's gonna mess up. Now this is a very bizarre thing. Experienced vertigo, which if anybody knows, vertigo's like this, boom, ooh, down. And who in their right mind is gonna investigate vertigo on this is beyond me. Into the lake. He had been known to experience vertigo from time to time, but 45 minutes later, that don't sound right. 45 minutes later, there's no way in hell he dropped vertigo and survived 45 minutes. So that, to me, is very, very sketchy. Now I do have a video up on a thing in New Hampshire, and it is abandoned, and I think you can go visit it, but it's on the side of a mountain. And back in the early 60s, the military used to radar up there in the so as I was rudely interrupted in my office, talking about vertigo, 45 minutes, in that tracker place in New Hampshire. Like I said, it's on the side of the mountain. They were seeing unidentified objects flying around on their radar. So I mean, between the late 50s, early 60s, as you can see, there was a very strong, very high, strong visual of friggin' aircrafts on radars that no one could explain. I don't know if these radars would be able to tell the type of plane they're flying, But then again, if they're just using, the radio to contact, and then they know. But all in all, this vertical thing, man, I don't see it happening in 45 minutes. So, I mean, it's just very sketchy. I mean, back in them days, of course, around this time, Area 51 existed. And, there's speculations that the government was doing all this. But the way I'm putting this all together, in these underwater tunnels. And, caverns, I call them, or tunnels. I'm about to think them damn aliens are under us, too. Screw the galaxy. They're underneath us. They have to be. And coming out of Superior Lake, I'm sure there's a part in there that has no depth. And for that to be said, and they were flying out of that friggin' lake and just came on radar, and this guy went to search, that's what I think that happened. And when he got too close, of course, they either sucked him in, or hell, maybe even evaporated him. I bet you no one's ever thought of that. Back in the 50s, evaporated, boom, just. Or maybe they got them friggin' things that maybe evaporate you into another life, for Christ's sake. If he did go, and then you think of this. If he did go vertical, maybe he did, and went in the depth of the water, fell in their cave. Aha. That's where I'm getting with this. These huge lakes, these huge rivers, anywhere that they say that don't have no depth in the bottom of that, I believe are alien traveling tunnels. And even if they're waterways with water through them, they're still tunnels for even the creatures to go through them. The serpents back in the day, back in time. They could have fell upon these things too by accident, swimming, and right, because they were already there, they were already made. And alright, maybe he did fall vertical, but if he fell right into the lake, right into one of them tunnel holes, holy shit, then this story right here explains, that's right, my tunnels are for real. I'm the one that's come up with this idea. I don't know if I came up with it literally, but to bring it forth again, I mean, there are freaking underground cities and stuff. There goes my phone. But to see this story and to hear about that, now I just thought of that. He fell vertical and crashed into the lake. No, he fell vertical and fell into the depth of the hole that Superior Lake has into a tunnel. How about that? And that's what most likely could happen to the last guy, James from World War I. So I mean, all in all, people, all in all, these stories are coming up. And these stories are on my thoughts and theories of things. And that's freaking me out. Literally. That's just crazy. I wasn't even thinking of that when I read this story about being vertical, falling into the tunnels that are beneath us. That's why they didn't find no planes. They got sucked into them tunnels. Jesus Christ. I mean, they did a whole friggin' investigation on this. Like I said, they found parts of planes, but they didn't determine it was his. And they never concluded that it was his. So if that's the damn case, then that means he fell vertical into a tunnel. A traveling tunnel of aliens. And them other two ships just kept on floating by. And what's ever in them tunnels, them two ships are the ones that probably made them go down there. Or sent them down there to be caught up into their traps. Ha! That's crazy, man. That's what I think happened to this guy. Exactly what happened. Them tunnels are surreal underneath us. And whoever brought him down, took him in, gone forever. Until that next video, be safe, take care, and always beware. And think, just keep thinking, what's beneath us? What's beneath us is what the question is the question of the 21st century, is the question of the world. Or how do you say that? Not the question of the year, but the question of the friggin' millennium, the universe. What is beneath us? Taking everything. And that leads me to believe the Bermuda Triangle. Think about it. Out.